Give your major scale an emphasis with the chord tone of the note you're holding. You're bringing everything to you. You're discovering that you don't need to move. You can bring your scales and your chords together. This is just an exercise to show you that you can do it. Let's keep going. Once you get this, you start to become unstoppable. You start to, how do I explain this nicely? You can listen to your favorite guitar players and start to understand what they're doing instead of being like, what are they doing and what's happening? Alright, welcome back to another episode of StichMethod. This one is quite special. We're going to be talking about how to become one with your instrument. Before we begin, I will say there are a lot of ingredients you need to know from StichMethod, and those videos will be linked below and in the description box. I'll also mention them as the video goes on. It is so important to learn that you can bring everything you need to you in music, and especially on the guitar. If you feel like you're hunting around and trying to I know something here and the only other place I know something else is here, and you're moving, you don't have all the insight that the guitar has to offer, and that's one of the lessons. Well, that's what this lesson is about. So I want to show you how to bring things to you, how to become one with the instrument with knowledge, and that's really going to make you comfortable, and it's going to make you understand what all of your guitar players are doing on some level. And so with that being said, let me show you. We're going to start off very simply today. We're going to take a basic 8-note major scale right here in the 5th fret, A major, and it's going to be fret-wise 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 4, 6, 7. That is it, okay? That is going to bring us a lot of knowledge right now. All right, those notes are A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A. But that's not the important piece. The important piece is knowing the interval numbers, okay? We're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 1. I will say that your basic knowledge of the CAGED chord shapes is pretty needed at this point. It'll be linked in the video up here and also down below. If you don't know your basic chord shapes and a diminished chord shape, which again will be in another video linked below, you'll see. You need those, but we'll start off slow and you follow. So this interval is the 1. And what's interesting about, what's interesting about a major scale is a key. Now, there's a huge, dichotomy, I guess, in the guitar world or music world where people say key is home. Key is not home. I'm going to put my foot down. It is not home. The key is the major scale in which a percentage or a majority of the percentage of what you're playing, what major scale it comes from. It is the major scale. Trust me on this. And I'm going to show you. Here you have note number 1. And in a key or in a major scale, the first note is played as a major chord. And so if I'm playing the scale and I create a little melody like that and I end up on the first note here, I need to be able to form a major chord off of this scale. And that chord shape is the E major chord shape right here. This is the root note, this is the major chord. I'm going to try and keep all of my chord shapes inside of this major scale shape. So if I have a melody and I go, and I want to strum a chord, that note's on the E string, and so the E string major chord is your E major shape. Now the second note is played as a minor chord. So the 2 chord of any key, 1, 2, is played as a minor chord. So in this case, A major to B minor. So if I write a melody and I go, and I want to strum the chord, I need to be able to form a chord instantly off of this note. And that chord shape is the G minor chord shape. And I'll show this to you, okay? Again, this is CAGED chord stuff, okay? We have 7, 5, 4, 4. That's all you need. 7, 5, 4, 4. All this stuff is available in the videos linked below and on my channel. And so, I'm starting to show you that when you're playing guitar, and if you understand that you can bring everything to you, things get a lot easier and your knowledge grows, and you don't you're not living in awe so much of your favorite guitar players. You're starting to understand them. So we're going to keep going with this. So I have the A, the B, and I have the C sharp. This is interval number 3. 1, 2, 3. The third note of any key is played as a minor chord. Now you probably know this. Look at my first finger on the A string. The A string minor chord shape, one of them is the A minor chord. Just like that, the A minor chord shape, excuse me. This is your root note. This is a C sharp. This has now become a C sharp minor chord. So I have like do, re, mi, or A, B, C sharp, but more importantly, intervals 1, 2, and 3. And off the third interval, I can form a minor chord off the A string if I know my CAGED chord shapes. Again, if you don't know your CAGED chord shapes, go to the description box below. Watch my 2 videos on CAGED. It will blow your mind. I promise. Here we go. So if I have a melody, it goes 1, da, I'm just going through the major scale, end up on the 1. I can play this, and I play something else. There's the 2. Another melody. There's the 3. Play more melody. End up on the 4. Now look where we are. Now the 4 chord of any key is always played as a major chord. And I'm on the A string. Yes, I've landed with my middle finger, but I'm on the A string. And if you know your CAGED chord shapes, you'll know that the A-shaped chord right here is the major chord where the root note is on the A string. So I have... hear the melodies being created. You're hearing that your major scale, you're playing in a key, things sound good. When you land on a note, you are giving the note an extra push with its chord. By the way, if you're digging this so far, you need to thank Duane. We thanked Duane in several of the videos. He's a student and friend of mine, and he was talking about how this is what he was practicing, and I said, this is exactly what we need to show everyone. And so, again, thank you, Duane. All right, here we go. So I have my 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is major, 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 is major, 5 is major. Look where I am, okay? I'm on this southern boundary of the scale, okay? My scale is pretty much between 4 and 7, and I don't want to move. I know this is an E. I'm on an E, but it's interval number 5. It's major. Well, what major chord can I form where I don't have to move that much? Oh, it's my C-shaped chord. There it is. That's a major chord. There's the root note. This is an E. I've made my chord around it. That's the C shape. Again, knowledge of the CAGED chord system is very important. All right, and there's my chord. So now I can make up a melody. There's the 2 chord. There's the 1. Give your major scale an emphasis with the chord tone of the note you're holding. You're bringing everything to you. You're discovering that you don't need to move. You can bring your scales and your chords together. This is just an exercise to show you that you can do it. Let's keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's that 6th note. Now we're on the D string, and we need a chord that goes this way. We want to stay in between the boundaries of the scale, all right? And so I know, because A, I teach this stuff, and B, I've been playing for a while, that the 6th note of any key is a minor chord, and I know that this note's root note is a D minor shaped chord. And there it is. I don't care right now what this note is, F sharp. We don't care because it's the 6th, and you say I need a minor chord. I need a minor chord where this right here is the root note. It's the D string. What chord shape has the root note? That's a minor chord. It's a D shaped chord. So now we have your 6th chord. 5 chord. Look at that pinky. 4 chord. 3. 2. 1. Ooh, got there a little early. Now don't worry, we are actually going to talk about the 7 chord today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 7th note, all right? Now, the 7th note in any key is played either as a diminished or a minor 7 flat 5, and if you want to really understand that, if you don't understand that and that makes you like want to throw up or like tense up, watch the video that I'm linking. It is crystal clear on how these chords are formed and what they are. But this right here is a root note. I know if I put my first finger here, okay, and again, this knowledge, if you don't know it, but you're kind of like understanding it, watch the videos linked below or the ones I'm pointing to. It'll make it crystal clear. Plus, I'll have a chart for this, and on my Patreon, I'll be practicing this with extended lessons and more content in case you really want to get this stuff down. And so here's my 7, and then if I just bar my ring finger here across the 8th frets, there's my minor 7 flat 5 chord that I need. All right, so check this out. So knowing your scale shape, knowing that you have boundaries to work with, your nut side boundary and your bridge side boundary, and knowing that you can form a chord off of any one of those notes, and they need to be caged chords, and you need to have those knowledgeable chords, in hand in case you don't know it, will bring all of your music to you. This will bring everything to you, and you can do this in all different places. You can do this with all different scales and the chords that go with it. The more you learn about it, again, my Patreon will have plenty of exercises about this and other shapes. There will be a chart for this video if you want to follow along, link below, and of course if you're a member of the Patreon you get the chart for free. Well, it's included in the price is what I'm going to say. And so I would sit and make melodies off of one scale shape, and I'd bring the chords to me. And this creates melody. It pushes the root note of where you're stopping with a chord tone, creating more melody. It makes you responsible for bringing everything to you, and you get more and more comfortable with this instrument. So sit with these 7 notes. And try to play a melody, anything you want. Try to figure out what interval you landed on, and play the right chord. Confident that you know what you're doing. You have a huge piece of the puzzle with you. I hope I didn't go too fast or too slow. Again, I can't stress enough the knowledge of the caged chord, major and minor and diminished, all that stuff is linked below, is very important to getting this. But once you get this, you start to become unstoppable. You start to, how do I explain this nicely? You can listen to your favorite guitar players and start to understand what they're doing instead of being like, what are they doing and what's happening? This gets you closer. You're becoming more and more, as you're becoming more one with the instrument. I'll stop talking. Thank you so much for being here. If you like this, you share and subscribe, do all the YouTube begging stuff. Enough about that. Thank you so much for being here. See you on another episode of StichMethod quite soon. Bye-bye.